It's time that WWE does this with LA Knight or else, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and why they have to do it, and they have to do it right away. LA Knight, was screwed over yet again. He was screwed over yet again, the second time in recent months that WWE has done this, and I'm getting a little tired of seeing it on a common basis. It was Survivor Series War Games in which LA Knight got screwed over for the very first time when he was booked to lose the United States Championship to Shinsuke Nakamura. It was a devastating blow in LA Knight's career, I believe, considering the circumstances. We'll touch on that in a second. Then fast forward, January 10th, Friday Night SmackDown, he finally gets his big rematch with the U.S. Championship on the line against Shinsuke Nakamura. And what happens? He's right there. He's right there. He's about to close the deal, and he's about to pin Shinsuke Nakamura, winning back the U.S. Championship and holding it for a second time. Only for the Bloodline. Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga. They come out there, and they get involved, and they attack him. Now, this was after they got into a brawl with Cody Rhodes earlier in the night. And so that leads to Cody Rhodes running down and making the save, and it sets up a tag team match that night, and yada, yada, yada. It's not about Cody Rhodes. Heck, it's not even about Jacob Fatu. It's not about the Bloodline. It's about L.A. Knight. Now, coming out of this show, I saw people talk about, well, at least he's part of the Bloodline feud that's been watered down. Is that what we're celebrating here? If there is no Roman Reigns connection, if there's no Jey Uso connection, if there's no Sami Zayn connection, the Bloodline storyline does not exist, in my opinion. Solo Sikoa has dropped the Ula Fala. He is not the tribal chief anymore. That is held by Roman Reigns yet again. So sure, LA Knight's going to team with Cody Rhodes, and he's going to team with Jimmy, and they're going to go up against the Bloodline. Yay! And he's still farther from the U.S. Championship. And he's still farther away from breaking that glass ceiling and making it as a main eventer in WWE. And I think it's very fitting that all of this boils down to it. I think it's time that WWE turns LA Knight heel. And I know what you're going to say. Why would you do that? He's so over. He's so overdoing what exactly? Putting over Shinsuke Nakamura, a guy that was irrelevant for multiple months, wasn't used on television for multiple months, and yet he gets a new character, and now we're supposed to believe that he's the old Shinsuke Nakamura. Yay! No. He's out of his prime. He's been surfing and collecting checks. More power to the man. He does not need to be U.S. champion. I'm sorry. That talent roster is way too stacked for a Shinsuke Nakamura to hold the championship. Go down the list. I can rattle off a few names real quickly. Whether it's LA Knight, Andrade, how about Carmelo Hayes? How about him? There are multiple young and up-and-coming talent, or talent that needs that title way more than a Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura's a utility player. He's a plug-and-play. When you need a guy to beat, or you need a guy as a challenger, you bring him along. You don't have him as a champion. And the fact of the matter is, LA Knight, while he is super duper over with the fan base, he's not going up the pecking order. And if you look at it from a babyface side, would you rather be the fourth biggest babyface in the company, or would you rather be the first or second biggest heel in the company? You look at the talent roster right now. Friday Night SmackDown is headlined by undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Is he really being dethroned anytime soon? Would he be dethroned by John Cena at WrestleMania? Probably. Now, John Cena's back, so that just knocked him down a peg. You go over to Monday Night Raw. Who is your top champion? It's World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Who else is over there? CM Punk, he's a babyface. Jey Uso, he's a babyface. Sami Zayn, he's a babyface. Seth Rollins, he's a babyface. So if he goes to Monday Night Raw, he's the fifth biggest babyface. Oh, by the way, Roman Reigns, he's on both shows, so you're behind him. All right, now you're the sixth babyface on Monday Night Raw. You go to Monday Night Raw as a heel, you are pegged as the second biggest heel behind Drew McIntyre. Right? Oh, by the way, Damian Priest is a babyface, so I guess it would be seventh. Right? Friday Night SmackDown, in terms of heels, you have Solo Sikoa. That's it. And Jacob Fatu. he would leapfrog in first place. So if we're talking about how do we get LA Knight to being a main eventer, how do we get LA Knight closer to breaking through that glass ceiling and becoming a true megastar in which he likes to tout himself as, if we're trying to get LA Knight to being a main event world champion type talent, turning him heel and keeping him on Friday Night SmackDown is the route to go. I understand on paper it does not look like it makes sense to turn one of your most over guys, one of the best reaction guys that you can get as a babyface. But after a while, the fans are going to see through this guy's booking, and they're going to realize that he is not the megastar, that he's not a top babyface, because they don't see him as that, because the company doesn't see him as that. As a LA Knight fan, I want to see this guy succeed. I want to see him in the title picture. I want to see him as a main event guy. I want to see him as a world champion, but I also have to be realistic about the reality of the situation. This guy's getting screwed over left and right. Even as U.S. champion, his run wasn't very good because the booking wasn't very good. This is not hating on LA Knight. This is hating on the booking of LA Knight. This guy has so much more potential that is being showed up by. Now, is he going to team with Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso? And are they going to win a 6-man tag or whatever they have planned for the babyfaces versus the heels? Sure. But I also think you have to deal with the reality of the situation that is, you are having a Cody Rhodes who is in the middle of a feud with Kevin Owens, which has a John Cena lined up. He still has a Randy Orton lined up. He's probably going to go through Jacob Fod. Like, I think it would be a major mistake, but it's a possibility that his next championship challenger is Jacob Fatu. It's not LA Knight. LA Knight, yeah, he'll get a win, but I don't know how further it's going to expand his horizons. I don't know how much further it would push him in the right direction. So if we're looking out for the best case scenario for LA Knight, if we're looking out for LA Knight to be the top guy, if we're looking at LA Knight to succeed, I don't know how much of a good idea it is to just simply have him get screwed over by the Bloodline and then going into a feud with the Bloodline. If you wanted to do it where LA Knight did not get his U.S. Championship title rematch, and if he instead just went straight into the Bloodline storyline just to get him a win and kind of rebound him and then get him, ready, set, go into Mania, hey, I'm all for that. But why are you booking him in another situation in which he comes up short, right, against a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura? I understand the babyface idea of, like, you put him in spots where he comes up short to a worthy contender, a worthy challenger. I get that, but Nakamura? No, that ain't working for me.